Okay, so we should be live on both vertical and horizontal streaming.
That's cool.
Hopefully.
You've done a cool thing if it is working out that way.
Maybe we're just one-way live. I don't know. But we are awaiting the start. We're going to watch some TCG regionals in the like background while we play some TCG Pocket today. I have kind of fallen out of practice with the regular TCG, and this one doesn't take much practice, but it's made me kind of interested again. I'm going to start off by opening a pack. Oh, we got an Articuno EX first card. I got 2 of those now. Beautiful. Love to see it. Farfetched. Krabby. Snom. Graplocked. Love to see it. Okay, they're gonna be a while before they start. I don't know, I kind of feel like I only see one live stream. Oh well, irregardless, we'll just proceed. I think, let's see, what are the offering rates? I would like to see, I could get another 10 pool on something, but I would like to see what kind of deck I'm close to building. I do need one more Mewtwo. I don't have any Venusaur. Don't believe I have any Gengar EX either. I don't know if that's a card that I'm trying. I don't know what that card does, if I'm being 100% honest. But I got... Alright, if we look at it this way, in the Mewtwo pack, I got 2 of the 5 where I have at least 2 copies and can make a deck. Alright, I can logic that way. In the Charizard pack, I do have Charizard EX. I have 1 Machamp, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I have 1 Machamp. So I only got 1 that I can build decks from in there. And then there's the Pikachu, where I probably am going to have more than 1. So I have 1 copy Pikachu EX. I got 2 copies of Arcanine. I got 2 copies of Wigglytuff. So that's the vibes. I feel like it should be Charizard. That's the one I've got the least of. Alright, let's crack open 10 packs. Persian's new. That's nice. Ooh, another full art Erica. I've got 2 of those now. Hey, I gotta build that grass deck. I gotta start pulling for the grass deck. Oh, second copy Lapras. That's lovely. And Moltres EX. I needed that. I need 2 though to go with Charizard. Then I could build. I could build fire. I'm very close. I think one more Moltres and I could build fire. I don't think I want to play the fire deck with just one though. You can give me 2 Blaines in the same pack. Last pack. Double Pukumuku. Hey, full art Pinsir though. We take those. $25 more cards to complete the set. Does this pack have Executor EX? It sure does. Alright. I'm gonna pull this one again. Ducklet. Hey, Poliwrath. That's 24 cards left. It would be awesome to complete the set before the next one comes out, because they did just announce the next set and it seems to feature Mew, which I love. Mew is one of my favorite Pokemon. Hey, 23, 22. That's a huge pull right there.
There you go, nice.
Dang, it gets a whole cutscene. Hey,
yeah.
they went crazy. Oh, nah.
What? I have never seen anything like this.
Wow.
Okay. So is this card part of a big, huge card that has all the rest of those cards? Or all the rest of those Pokemon?
I mean, I don't know if that was just because I got such an awesome pool. They did like this cutscene. I have never seen that either.
That would be really cool. And then like every time whenever you get one of the other Pokemon in that picture, it's part of the card.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really cool.
This isn't my first of this Alakazam, but that's another good card. Getting to the end though, and no Moltres and no Executor. Pack 10. I already got this Charmander. Don't know if I got this Gloom. Nope. Hey, so at least we knocked a few more cards off of the list to completion. .202 out of 226. Now some missions. And almost got the level up. Let's see what we can do. If there's any cards here that help me complete the collection. Oh, there's one, if I can get it. Try here. No. Price Helix, we gotta try again. That's no cost. We take those. And we got a level up. Complete some more missions. wonder how bad this would be if I do this. Maybe turn it down a bit here. Yeah, no, probably not for the best. Yeah, that's gonna be much better. Alright, so the real TCG players are getting started. We'll be starting off with a Jigglypuff versus Magikarp. The Gyarados are pulling up, huh? I'm gonna just go for Dragonite. Yeah, because of this Gyarados
Welcome in, Pokemon
insanity.
fans, to our regional championships here in Toronto, Canada. It's chilly outside, but things are certainly heating up here in the event hall. Players are competing for so many prizes this weekend. Of course, an invite to the World Championships. It is sure to be an exciting weekend. My name is Chipper G. I am here in the lounge to kick off the show with Ethan, Hegster, Heggy, and Pablo Tablemon Meza. How are we doing, gentlemen? Are you excited for the weekend?
Absolutely, like you said, it is cold outside, but the event is going to
Go
be
for an
exciting
attack.
one.
I mean,
This
if they
is
get
the
a
longest regionals of all
Misty
time.
with
It's
3
so
heads
that up north, players are
or
still
2
showing up.
heads,
We're going to have an exciting event.
I'm cooked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to a lot of
But if they
Pokemon
got
this
that,
weekend.
I was
We've
probably
had a lot of
cooked either
tournaments
way.
with Surging Sparks now.
Okay.
I'm really hoping someone out there will
Okay.
have some spice for us.
No Misty in hand.
It certainly seems like when we get a few tournaments into a format, that's when, you know, players really start to innovate. Once the meta kinds to form around a few specific decks. Let's take a look at the schedule of regionals thus far this year. What we have done to get to this point, we are churning through this season at a quick rate. Of course, this is just our North American Regional Championships with the ICs listed on here as well. There were a couple of tournaments last weekend, though, as well. There was the Perth Regional Championship taking place down in Australia. There was the Bogota special event that happened last weekend as well. And all of these events taking place all over the world, weekend after weekend, makes it really feel like such a global effort for this game.
It really is a build-up to the World Championships. Every year, it just becomes more and more action, especially...
Okay, the way they're
fights
playing
seem to
this
be
is
a lot
actually
more difficult.
really
Players,
beneficial
the
to me.
top echelon of their region region qualifying. It's not a point threshold, so, you know, we've seen in the past some players, they get their 500, 600
Drop
points,
Draco.
they stop going to events. That's not the case anymore. You really can't feel safe, especially this early on in the season.
And let's take a look at those points that these players are competing for throughout the course of this weekend and all of our many other events happening throughout the season. Of course, first place at this tournament will lock up 350 championship points, and like you mentioned, Ethan, it will be the top X number of players in each region for North America where this event is taking place. It will be the top 125 Masters Division players at the end of the season.
Yeah, top 125 for North America and Europe, 100 for Latin America.
Then they
20
go
for Oceania,
Sabrina.
and 10 for the Middle East and South Africa. So, as you mentioned, Ethan, very, very difficult this season to qualify. The most exclusive World Championships, I would say, so far.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. Most exclusive in recent years. Far, far different from the previous threshold. And it's going to be really interesting to see how things shape up as we get deeper and deeper into the season. We've only had one international championship so
There's
far.
a
Those
very
events are
good
going to
chance I'm going to
huge
win on the
factor
next
in
turn.
Fighting for those top races. Of course, we did just last weekend have Perth and Bogota, but the last event that we broadcast was the Sacramento Regional Championships. Ethan, you competed at that event. Let's hear a little bit from your
That's not
perspective
going to
about how
save
things
you
went.
unless you got
Well, it's a good
two.
event for me. I cashed
You wanna
that
know
top
something I
32,
just
so,
found
you
out?
know,
What?
not
You know
something
how
too
everybody
shabby to
says,
say at the least.
like, potato,
I mean, it
potato,
comes
or
to
tomato,
showcase, right? When
tomato?
we're in a metagame like this,
You can't
very,
say
very wide.
tomato,
what
potato,
comes down to it
because
is your deck
tomatoes
choice, but
and
also
potatoes
how
are
well you
actually
play a deck,
enemies.
how you pivot. And at least for me,
So
in
you
my
can
eyes,
say
something
tomato,
like
tomato,
Reggie
potato,
Drago, which I
potato.
played, it gives you
But
the
that
most ability
phrase doesn't
to
actually go
essentially
together.
outplay and maneuver through the
Because
various
those
decks
two
in
are
the format.
enemies.
Why
And
are
I feel
they
like that's a
You
reason
can't
that a
plant them
lot of
near
these
each
players
other.
have shifted towards playing Reggie Drago and have stuck with it throughout this format.
Oh, for sure. It's versatility, right?
Okay,
Having all
dangerous
these
spot
type of
right
attack
here.
options to adapt to every situation you come up with. That's one of the strengths of Reggie Drago.
Starmie EX gonna get a
Reggie
hit
Drago
off.
was a dominant deck at Sacramento. It had a lot of placements in the top spots, but it was not the deck that ended up winning the whole event. Let's take a look at our Sacramento recap.
At the Sacramento Regional Championships, Surging Sparks was finally tournament legal, but it remained to be seen if some of the new decks on the block could stand up to Reggie Drago V-Star, hot on the
Apparently,
heels of the deck's amazing performance at
That's because they
LAIC.
compete for nutrients.
Imagine our surprise when it was a revitalized
shouldn't have
Miraidon EX, partnered with the new Pikachu EX
Makes
from
sense.
Surging Sparks that answered the call.
And they attract
In the
smaller
finals,
pests,
Kenneth
so
Gilman and Landon Katler faced
double
off
the
in a
amount of pests
Miraidon
in one
EX
place.
mirror match. After an explosive back and forth set, it all came down to Game 3. By consistently taking the first knockout of the game, Landon's momentum could not be stopped, cementing his position as the Sacramento Regional Champion.
Landon Katler shows out the boss's orders. Landon Katler is a double-time regional champion now, winning Sacramento, California regionals here with Miraidon EX.
Never miss a beat and head to Pokemon.com/compete to join the fun.
I need like two more
Congratulations, of
wins, I
course,
think,
to our
so.
event winners there in Sacramento. A two-time regional champion, Landon Katler. What a run as well with the Miraidon EX.
And you got to give it up to Kenneth as well. I mean, this was his first big breakthrough at a regional
And
championship.
they
I
both
believe
played the
top
same deck.
128 or 256 is only other result. So going that far, that deep, especially in tournaments nowadays where it's over 1,000 players, not a small feat at all. Congratulations again to him.
And to like a deck that I don't think any of us expected to make it all the way to the top, and having a mirror match in the finals shows how well they chose the deck for the event.
Right, it was a good call. It was not even a very popular deck at the event. Let's take a look at the meta breakdown from Sacramento Regionals, because Miraidon was not even on the list of the top 6 decks. So who would have thought that after seeing this for day number 1 that day 2 would yield Miraidon EX in the finals?
Clearly not me, clearly not a lot of the casters either at this point. So, you know, we may have to get up on our feet a little bit here and get ready for the next tournament.
Interesting graph there
I mean, you see the wide
of
array of
deck
decks it does very well
usage.
into.
That's what
Reggie
I'm
Drago
kind of
V-Star,
like.
the number
This
1
stuff's
deck.
more
Salt
useful
Dog
for me
defeated by
than
that
the
at top
games,
8. And then
honestly.
Raging Bolt, you know, definitely a closer
Okay,
matchup.
let's
Charizard
flush
as
away
well.
this
But the
big
other
old
matchups
hand
do
you
seem
got
pretty
here.
navigable, especially those bottom 2 decks. Archeops Lugia never really been a great matchup for the Miraidon deck throughout its entirety, and Iron Hands just can prey on Gardevoir early on in the game.
Let's Let's take a look at the second day of competition in Sacramento. How decks converted from day number 1 to day number 2 is always one of the most interesting things that I like to look at. And there was a newcomer on the top 6 graphic here, the Golden Go EX. And while much of the story is about the Miraidon mirror match in the finals, there were 2 Golden Go. There was a Golden Go making a deep run in that event as well.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Victor, his first big finish as well at that tournament, and that definitely set the pace for Goldengo heading into the next series of events, right? Now Goldengo is an actual threat in the metagame.
Ooh, they're gonna
and it's
knock
all about
out
that
my
Energy Surge Pro.
Jigglypuff here.
Before Goldengo had good results, but Energy Surge Pro really brought it to a whole new level.
Yeah, it really does take it over the edge, and it is something that has
Good
continued to
on
see
them.
success since Sacramento Regionals, and is a popular deck actually at this tournament this week. And let's take a look at our champions so far throughout the season. It's one of my favorite graphics that we share every single event, is taking a look at the journey of all of these players and who will add their face to this graphic, who will be our remaining regional champions through the rest of the year.
Still so much action to come. You see, we're only 3 events down. We've still got plenty more regional championships to go, and there's so much on the line. Like you said, the automatic invitation to the World Championships is a huge feat.
Let's try to get a little
especially with the competitive
RNG
system.
going our
So
way.
all 3 of these players guaranteed they could, sit back on the couch for the rest
Live
of
or
the season.
die by
and
the
we'll still see
RNG.
them in California later this year.
All of these players locking up an invite by getting the win, like you mentioned, and all of them as well, being able to push forward into the top end of the rating zone. Let's take a look at the top 16 players from North America and see how that breakdown is looking at this point. Rahul Reddy, someone who's not featured on that graphic, but I mean, he's been on an absolute tear this season ever since his top cut finish at the World Championships.
Yeah, getting back-to-back top 8s, I believe, to start off the season, right? So, sure, he doesn't have an automatic invite to the World Championships yet, but sitting
1,000 championship
exactly,
points.
sitting in first place, I would say he's pretty locked in, right? But then, yeah, we also see Henry Chow, right? The first winner, he has kept on playing, he's still grinding out the events, and, I mean, there's plenty to play for still, right? Travel awards and everything for the rest of the season, so it's nice to see him still up there as well.
Yeah, and you see a lot of these names on here have really been taking advantage of those special events. One name up there, Owen Dallegard, had a top 8 finish at Bogota a few weeks ago, or last weekend it seems, to get a lot of those championship points. I know Stephen Hamula is another player who's been traveling to a lot of those championships, so, the best finish limit right now for those players who are going to a lot of events, we're going to start to see these numbers maybe slow down a little bit as some of these players have started to, max out realistic finishes. How likely is it that they're going to, get multiple top 32s, top 16s, or even top 8s to get some more championship points on top of their finishes they already have?
And it's a really cool thing to look at with this graphic as well. I mean, we see a couple of players who've been around the game for a long time. Rahul Reddy, Kieran Farah, right, a Canadian local as well for this event. Players who've been around the game have had tons of success. But you mentioned Owen Dallegard, Benjamin Herbert up there as well. These are 2 first-year Masters Division players really making a name for themselves coming out of the Seniors Division in the last season. Let's take a look at our EU regional champions. We've talked about North America, of course. We've got the European tournaments that have been happening as well, and those have been extremely, extremely exciting to watch. And just a short while ago, we had Arnie winning the Stuttgart Regional Championships with Charizard EX.
Yeah, another mirror match in the finals, Charizard. I don't think many of us had Charizard doing well because of Regidrago's dominance, right? But I feel like Regidrago's dominance, as we saw it win in Lille by James Cox, we also saw it win again in Gdansk by Alberto Conti. It's been
Alright, we got Wigglytuff EX active.
and therefore Charizard can counter those
Going
counters.
for the sleepy song.
The countering of the counters is certainly it's the mind games of
And we get to sleep.
when it comes down to picking a deck for any given event. Sure, Charizard may have a rough matchup into the most popular deck of Regidrago, but that's not the only deck that you're going to be playing against throughout the course of a tournament weekend. And speaking of predictions and what we think may or may not do well, let's take a look at what the casters for this weekend have predicted. What are the things that we are expecting in Toronto to succeed thus far in the event? See Ethan here. Ethan, you and Pablo. It's a good thing you guys are paired up because you seem to be on the same page.
Yeah, it's no surprise. This is number 1 and number 2, no matter how you look at it. They are the most versatile and dominant decks. Charizard with its hard-hitting power and the consistency of Pidgeot, and Regidrago V-Star with its incredibly fast aggression and numerous choices of attacks to pick. It's no surprise, 1 and 2, and I'm confident about that.
And really interesting to see. It's not a surprise to see that Boo picked Cloth. She's a big fan of Cloth as a Pokemon, as a deck. I'm a little surprised to see it on Kyle's list, though, so maybe a good thing that they are paired up as well, because that is a deck that has really burst onto the scene. There was a couple of players with a top 32 finish in Sacramento. You know, it had some success in Japan previous to that. I think that's kind of where it first got on the page, but this is a deck that has, you know, gone from a rogue, completely under the radar deck into a top meta contender. What do you make of that, Pop?
I mean, it's definitely been really surprising,
That
and
was
it's all
his
been about that
response.
Precious Trolley, right? Precious Trolley combined with the Area Zero, letting Clough just have every supporting Pokemon in existence, both to draw cards with Squawk and Sensitivity, but also the whole Poison package, which is very crucial for the deck success. So now it can have both available at the same time.
Okay, we
on
got
its bench for
a
specific
Dragonite
game of
on the
game when it's so
field.
crucial. That's really brought
Not
I think it's
active
the number
yet,
3
but
deck,
on the
just
field.
behind Charizard and Regidrago, in my opinion.
I decided to go with the Lugia V-Star and the Snorlax this weekend as my picks for decks to succeed. Lugia's been really, really popular in the past, but the last couple of events, it has not done super well, and I think players were kind of scared to play it after Sacramento, of course, with the Miraidon mirror match in the finals, but we've kind of had a few events since then. Miraidon hasn't proven itself to be a top meta contender. It's a good deck, but not one of these top high percentage play decks. And a lot of Regidrago lists are not playing Temple of Sinnoh right now, which is a huge buff to Lugia V-Star.
When you count Lugia out, it always comes back. You can never count out the power of Summoning Star and Archeops's broken Vital Turbo ability. Like you said, people start cutting that card. You have no out against things like Legacy Energy to take away prize cards. The fundamental aspect of the Pokemon TCG, that's where Lugia soars away. You can't catch it.
And then, I mean, you chose Snorlax, Chip, which is a very interesting, it's like almost the polar opposite of Lugia.
Sure.
Right? They're sworn enemies, so why
Let's
Snorlax?
go
Why-
to
what's
the
your
deck
reasoning
builder.
behind it?
I mean, similar to what Ethan just said about Lugia, it's, you know, whenever it's a deck that's not getting respect, it tends to pop back up, and I don't feel like Snorlax is getting the most respect right now. There are a couple of decks that just kind of naturally beat it, right? You just lose to Cloth, right? They play Petron DX. That's a pretty impossible thing to come back from, unless players kind of adjust and change their lists. And Snorlax, the block ability, if it's something that players are not respecting, there's just always an opportunity for that to pop up. I mean, there are so many things right now. Like, if you look at the Miraidon lists that won, I mean, they just have no way around block. You just stick a Latios in play, bring it up, and the game is over.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, block is another deck that can adjust and can play cards. You know, some players have been rumoring, there's been some murmurs in the crowd about things like Lefty going into the deck.
How do I
Those
only
cards
have
like Lefty
one Ivysaur?
out against Cloth might
That's
trap
criminal.
on it in the active spot, but you bring the Klefki up and you shut off the Latios, and then you also shut off the Petrons and the poison ability.
Okay.
From the,
Well,
for the
that's a
Sonic.
problem.
And it has 3 retreat costs, so it can't normally move.
I love
So players
everybody's
could maybe
ugly
adjust a
sweater
little bit,
combo.
and that's when a deck can really do well. When players think a matchup is so free, it's so guaranteed, and a simple tech just fixes the complete matchup that it struggles with.
It's so funny that you bring up that exact interaction, because as I was walking around at the tables, I was looking at some of the top tables of the players who are 2-0 heading into this round, and I saw that exact interaction playing out. A Klefki with a Brute Bonnet stuck in the active, doing absolutely nothing. The guy had the Snorlax on the bench, she was ready to go. I was like, yep, that checks out, that checks out. Well, of course, we are getting into our holiday spirit here. It's been such a wonderful year through 2024. We're into the 2025 season now, but what a great year 2024 has been, and we always like to celebrate here on our broadcast and get into the holiday spirit. As you can see, our decorations behind us. We are going to be doing some cookie decorating later on this weekend, so keep your eye out for that. We are in the presence of last year's cookie decorating champion, Ethan Hegster. Heggy, what are you going to do this year to defend your title?
Something better than this, for sure. This was truly a masterpiece. I want to thank everybody who helped me get to this point. And, you know, the last year I've been reflecting on my work, and I've been practicing. I've had some assistants, I've had some mentors guide me through this year's work, and I'm not taking any chances, so it's staying secret what I'm putting together, but you guys better be prepared, because action is coming. That's all I have to say. There is going to be a great cookie. No one has ever seen a cookie like this before.
I hear primary school teachers give really good like painting coaching, so yeah, I guess that would make sense to really bring your game up to the next level.
It's not about the teacher, it's about the product, okay? Whatever you learn from, if you have a medium, you have a mentor.
Well, be sure to check out all of our broadcasts throughout the year as we get into the rest of this season. If you're ever wondering when the next event is being broadcast or streamed, be sure to check out Pokemon.com/broadcasts. You can see which one of us are going to be working any said event and also what time those events will be streamed and scheduled. Be sure to stay up to date with Pokemon.com/broadcast and also follow all of our various
I
channels
could
here,
get a
Twitch and
Moltres
YouTube,
this
where
way.
you can be sure to stay up to date and never miss a single one of these tournaments. They're so exciting. There's so many different things that can happen. I love this game. I love that we get to do this, and following the journey and seeing how these players adapt and change and go with the flows of the meta is so fun to see.
Let's play a different kind of
Pokemon's
deck.
a great game. The holidays are great. What
Or
better
try to.
combination than to bring the two together? It is cold here, I will admit. I truly do feel in the Christmas spirit thanks to the weather and everything else. What a great time to be having some Pokemon action and playing Pokemon.
Without a doubt, and I think our casters are getting ready. I hope our viewers at home are getting ready. Let's get into the booth and get into our first stream match of the day.
Getting in the holiday spirit indeed. We're here in Toronto, in Canada, the lands of the caribou. You have a frosted caribou on the desk here today, and a Kyle as well.
I'm slightly frigid, but yeah, other than that, same old me.
He's not just any Kyle, he's Kyle Sablehouse, and we are here to bring you some Pokemon action on the TCG desk here in Toronto. It's going to be an epic
Oh, yeah, forget
competition
this
out there
Charmander.
today. Of course, this is our day
Got
one
that Charmander.
here. Our players are going to be fighting it out to get into a day two, and then the real action begins. But first, we got to check out what formats our players
And
are
I
playing
got
in
two of these? Like, what the
This
heck?
weekend, the 2025 Regional Championships are bringing the electrifying action of the Pokemon trading card game to the global stage. Top trainers from across the world have gathered to compete for a share of over $125,000 in
I'm gonna
cash
match 'em up.
prizes, travel awards, and the all-important championship points that could secure their spot at Worlds 2025 in Anaheim, California. It's a two-day battle for glory. Trainers kick off the weekend in Swiss rounds, with each match being a best-of-3 showdown. To advance to day two, trainers need to rack up total match points to exceed the threshold for their division. On day two, the pressure intensifies as the remaining trainers face off in more Swiss rounds to determine who advances to the top cut. After all Swiss rounds are completed, the top 8 competitors, plus all competitors with the same number of match points as 8th place, will advance into an asymmetrical top cut single elimination bracket. Win and you move on. Lose and your journey ends. Only one trainer will rise above the rest to claim the title of regional champion. Who will etch their name into the history books this weekend? And who will punch their ticket to Worlds 2025 in Anaheim? Don't miss a minute of the action. Stay tuned all weekend long to watch the battles unfold live. To stay up to date on future Play Pokemon events, visit
Yep,
Pokemon.com/play.
I mean, I think that's pretty much it.
You could be a winner here at one of these regional championships. Of course, this time around, one of the players in our field are going to get that $10,000
get up.
and 108 several booster boxes for first place. Of course, it doesn't end there. There's a lot
Now
on
you
the
have the
line
immediate
here for
urge
our
to get up,
players.
don't you?
And you get those cool
No.
gold.
You get your championship playmat as well. We see a lot of players flexing those throughout the entirety of the year, showing off. We know especially that World Championship playmat. All those are some pretty high notoriety things to be flexing.
I think I
Look
am
at
gonna
this
stop
here, even
this
the
Pokemon
top four
broadcast
at
though.
this was
Delay
Players
our
Live,
stop
so
on
huge opportunity
stream.
for these players